Good morning. My name is Kristen Smith, and I have the good fortune and privilege to serve as Deputy Director of the Parks and Recreation for the City of Burbank. Please join me in welcoming Burroughs High School student Catalina Sutter to the podium. Catalina will be singing the national anthem this morning.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light that so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, all the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Catalina. What a beautiful morning and what a way to start the day. It is a great honor for me to be a part of this induction ceremony. On behalf of the Parks and Recreation Department, I would like to welcome each of you to celebrate the induction of 4 new honorees into the Burbank Athletics Walk of Fame. The sports programs in Burbank are second to none, and these programs would not be possible without the commitment and dedication of the participants, volunteers, and the professional staff. Each season, thousands of hours are invested by dedicated volunteers and employees that contribute to great sports experiences for all the participants in our programs. To acknowledge the contributions and the high standards that these individuals have established, the City of Burbank Parks and Recreation Department and the Burbank Athletic Federation have collaborated to establish the Burbank Athletics Walk of Fame. The Walk of Fame is a vehicle to honor dedicated volunteers, participants, and staff members who have had a tremendous impact and have made a significant contributions towards the development, growth, and quality of our exceptional sports and athletic programs here in Burbank. Today, I am honored to play a part in the celebration of our 13th induction ceremony, honoring the Burbank sports heroes and legends that made our sports programs what they are today. At this time, I'd like to introduce some special people here with us today. Vice Mayor Will Rogers. Council Member Bob Frutos. Parks and Recreation Board members, Vice Chair Carolyn Jackson. Board Member Mickey DiPaolo. Board Member Barry Gasso. Burbank Athletic Federation members, President Karen Sartoris. Vice President Craig Hunter. Member Dennis Roy. and member Shar Tabbitt. In addition to these individuals that I've just introduced, I'd like to take this opportunity to ask all of our past Walk of Fame inductees to please stand and be recognized. Let's have a hand for all of our Walk of Fame inductees. Thank you. At this time, I would like to introduce the Vice Mayor of Burbank, Will Rogers.
Thank you, Kristen. Good morning, everyone. Oh boy, right here in the full sun too, am I? So this is how I'll talk for the next few minutes. I want to say good morning and thank you all for coming. As was mentioned, I'm a member of the Burbank City Council. I'm here filling in today for Mayor Jess Talamontes, who is presently in Washington. And just a very short time ago, as I understand it, probably awakened Barack Obama as he was taking a tour of the White House. And I know he wishes he could be here, but we also have Bob Frutos, and I stand in, of course, for the entire Burbank City Council. It's a privilege to be here today as we honor the 2016 inductees into the Burbank Athletic Walk of Fame. The foundation of the Walk of Fame consists of two essential pieces: valuable sports programs and valuable people. Now, youth sports programs and adult sports programs are both vital aspects of the community as they provide people with a way to engage and be active. The benefits of playing sports are endless, regardless of whether you're 6 years old or 60 years old. And let me tell you, I recommend against taking a little break when you're 55, because it's very hard to get back. Just keep going. In addition to the physical benefits of playing sports, we all know that being part of a team and experiencing the inevitable roller coaster of winning and losing can teach us many important lessons about life. These valuable programs could simply not exist without amazing people. And the city of Burbank is truly blessed to have dedicated community members who give endless amounts of time and effort to the sports programs. The quote by Margaret Mead that is engraved right down here in front of the Walk of Fame reads, reminds us of how important volunteers are to the community. Quote, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has." Now, today we honor those who have had such an impact on developing excellence in Burbank sports programs. The ceremony is a celebration of the influence of yesterday, the success of today, and the hope of tomorrow. In closing, I want to congratulate the individuals being inducted into the Athletics Walk of Fame today, as they are real local sports heroes who have impacted many lives and contributed to our great community. Thank you. Kristen?
Thank you, Vice Mayor Rogers. Next, it is my pleasure to introduce the Parks and Recreation Board Vice Chair, Carolyn Jackson, to the podium.
Good morning. I'm taking a tip from Will, so there we go. Good morning, everybody. I'm really excited to be here today on behalf of the Park and Recreation Board and to participate in today's ceremony. I am not the only park board member here either. I think we have a majority, so we can't talk. The Walk of Fame has become a meaningful addition to the Burbank community, and it is very gratifying to see the program continue to offer a vehicle to recognize our community's sports legends, heroes, and volunteers. I would like to take this opportunity to thank my colleagues on the Park and Recreation Board, past and present, as well as the Burbank Athletic Federation for their commitment and insight in bringing this facility and program from an idea to a reality, and their continued commitment to keep the Burbank Walk of Fame a valued tradition in our community. Once again, it's an honor for me to be part of this induction ceremony, and I'd like to extend my sincere congratulations on today's inductees. Thank you.
Thank you, Carolyn. Now I'd like to introduce Burbank Athletic Federation President Karen Sartouris.
Good morning. On behalf of the Burbank Athletic Federation Board, I'd like to thank you all for coming to this year's class into the Burbank Athletics Walk of Fame. The Walk of Fame truly represents the commitment and dedication that the community members have demonstrated in developing the Burbank sports leagues for current and future generations. The Burbank Athletics Walk of Fame was completed in 2004. Since then, 71 individuals have been honored for their contribution to the Burbank sports programs. The Walk of Fame Criteria Committee developed the framework and process for the use of this selection of the inductees into the Walk of Fame. Each year, the Criteria Committee evaluates whether the candidates have met these standards. Members of the committee include Parks and Recreation Board members, Burbank Athletic Federation Board members, and Parks and Recreation staff. Today, we're proud to honor 4 new inductees for their services as coaches, managers, team parents, participants, staff, scorekeepers, game officials, sponsors, and other contributions as volunteers. At this time, I'd like to acknowledge and introduce the members of the 2016 Criteria Committee. Mickey DiPaolo, Parks and Recreation Board. Barry Gussow, Parks and Recreation Board. Craig Hunter, Burbank Athletic Federation. Shar Tabbitt, Burbank Athletic Federation. Linda Ozeransky, historian, and Aaron Burrows, Parks and Recreation Department staff. Thank you all for coming to this beautiful event, and congratulations to all our new inductees.
Thank you, Karen. Now what you've all been waiting for. We have the Walk of Fame Criteria Committee with us here this morning to present our new inductees. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mickey DiPaolo, Barry Gussow, Craig Hunter, and Shar Tabbitt.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Mickey DiPaolo, and it is my honor and privilege to be here today to induct Mr. Bill Dunaway. Bill, I'll ask you. That's great. I'm not sure, but I think these are Burroughs High School young ladies who Bill coaches. And this is what it's all about today, our volunteer who come out and every year make our programs the best in the nation. And before we go further, before I introduce Mr. Dunaway, I want to thank the sports office staff for the hard work they put in to show their love and respect for all our volunteer throughout all the years we've had in our programs. These induction ceremonies are a very memorable occasion for all inductees. Trust me when I say that. They feel very honored, as they well should, and respected. And thank you to the sports office staff and Park and Rec administration for the fine job that we do here every induction year. Thank you. and a few of the inductees that came before us, and some of them have passed on, and just recently we lost two wonderful people in Vi Lasky and Ron Rossiter, so let's remember them today, and all the other past inductees who have passed on, and remember the wonderful service that they had. So, let me introduce my buddy, Mr. Bill Dunaway. Bill, please come up here. Obviously, Bill's got a lot of support here today, which is wonderful. So, thank you, thank you. I want to tell you a little bit about Bill. You know, I'm fortunate enough to have him as a friend, and I always remember Bill from coaching from several years ago when I was working in the sports office, and Bill is very unassuming, very modest person, and first of all, a little history on Bill. He was born in the great state of Kentucky in a town called Stanford. And he has twin sisters and a brother. And he also has 3 children. And I believe 2 of them are here today, Vicki and Bill. And his niece, Sandra, and her husband, Chris. And Bill loves each and every one of them. He told me they're such an important part of his life. And like I said, Bill, he's a staunch Kentucky Wildcat fan like myself. I think we're probably the only 2 in Burbank, but we're also Kentucky football fans too. So they're playing Alabama today, so I hope they pull an upset. And I'm sure Bill feels the same way. Bill grew up loving sports, particularly basketball, which he played throughout his childhood. When his family moved to Panorama City, California, Bill played basketball at Monroe High School. And throughout his living in Burbank, living in Glendale, he played in the Burbank basketball program, the men's basketball program, and the softball leagues. And when Bill got his inspiration to coach in Burbank, it initially came from his friend, his good friend and co-worker at Libroscope. Bill worked at Libroscope for 27 years. And his friend is a 2010 inductee, Al Pepe. And Al and Bill, like I said, they work together at Libroscope, but they're both staunch USC Trojan fans. And they started going to games together at the old sports arena. And that's when Al asked Bill if he was interested in coaching, assistant coaching with the basketball team called the Ragamuffins. Am I correct, Bill? The Ragamuffins. And that was Bill's initial start on their program, and that was around 1979? Around 1979. And he's been coaching ever since. Like I said, Bill and Al were co-workers at Libroscope, and they established a wonderful friendship that still goes on today. And from then on, after he was asked to coach by Al, Bill fell in love with coaching, which is a very fortunate happening for all the young people who Bill has so influenced in a positive manner throughout his coaching career. As Bill continued coaching with Al and other Walk of Fame inductees such as Don Jensen and Ken Bailey, and Bill said that some of the most wonderful things that has happened during his distinguished career is that he has made lifelong friends of the coaches he has coached with and against. And later on, Bill and Don Jensen took their own basketball team, and their team was called the Steelers. Not S-T-E-E-L-E-R-S, but S-T-E-L-E-R-S. So I always liked the girls' programs. They had a lot more creative names. You know, they didn't just go Dodgers, Giants. They had Ragamuffins, Steelers, other names like that, which were very creative. And so Bill's coaching reputation spread. And when him and Don were coaching the Ragamuffins, they produced 5 Division I scholarship athletes that went on to play at Division I softball and basketball in their college careers. And Bill also coached with Ken Bailey, and he assisted him throughout the girls' career in ponytail and softball, travel ball, ASA ball, and women's rec and tourney ball. And I'm remiss in mentioning the late John Tinnell, or Tinnell I believe it's called, not Tinnell, I'm sorry. Another coaching icon who coached several years here in Burbank, who coached with Bill, and Bill still remembers and values all the great times they had together as coaches and as friends. And not only did Bill coach in the Burbank Park and Recreation for 15 years, he also is assistant coach at John Burroughs High School since 1989. 1989. And his coaching career includes softball and basketball. Bill is invaluable to that program, and he has been such a wonderful help and a tremendous role model throughout the years. And like I mentioned before, Bill is such a modest person. You know, I walked into the sports office one day and I mentioned to Christine, why isn't Bill in the Walk of Fame? And so I want to thank Miss Knoop, I think it's Margie Knoop, for placing Bill's name in nomination. And Bill also wants to thank the sports office staff, Carol Finkel, Terry Stein, and Linda Ozaransky, for playing a very positive, supportive role in his coaching career here at Burbank Park and Recreation. And last but certainly not least, Bill wants to thank all the wonderful young people he has had the honor of coaching all these years. And he's also coached one of our inductees, Miss Elise Stearns, who had to leave early today, Miss Elise Stearns-Neeson, but he wanted me to be sure to mention her name. And also Miss Cindy Dyer. She is the one that initially asked Bill to help assist coaching softball at basketball, excuse me. I told Bill, make sure he corrects me if I'm wrong. So far I've only made a few mistakes, so thank you, Bill. But he wanted to be sure to thank Cindy Dyer, not only for asking him to coach, but her longtime friendship. And like I said, Bill really wants to thank all the wonderful young people, and I'm sure they want to thank him too, as they have proven today, for his long-time coaching career. And Bill, it is my honor to induct you into the 2016 Burbank Athletic Walk of Fame. Please step over to your paver and unveil it.
I'm next. Thank you, Mickey, and congratulations, Bill, and congratulations to Bill's fan club, too. Well, my name is Craig Hunter, and I'm here to present Bob Lizarraga to the Burbank Walk of Fame. Bob, come on up. Come on, guys, a little louder than that. Let's get better than that. There you go. Bob was born in Mazatlan, Mexico. Moved to U.S. when he was 7 years old, and then to Burbank when he was 10 years old. As his family struggled financially, sports became the main focus of Bob's life. He believes that during those formative years, he developed a strong work ethics by settling goals and working hard towards achieving them by working with others and working with the following direction of role models such as coaches and teachers. Bob began playing organized baseball in 8th grade with the Burbank Cat Minor program. Under the guidance of Coach Chuck Holt, Bob was mentored and encouraged by Coach Chuck throughout his junior and high school career. In his youth baseball career, Bob soon developed a love and passion for the game and knew exactly what he wanted to do with his life, and that's play baseball. At Burbank High, Bob continued to play baseball at Burbank High School and other local baseball leagues. At Burbank High, with the drive to always be practicing, Bob became known as the tennis ball guy at the wall, consistently taking a tennis ball and throwing the ball at the wall all the time. Oh, are you right-handed or left-handed? Right-handed. So, throwing the ball at the wall all the time, just to keep on his game. In high school, while balancing academics and his baseball schedule, Bob was asked to come back and help his Hat Minor coaches with their teams, including a team that needed a head coach, and finish the season. Bob continued to play college ball at UCLA and professional ball with the Kansas City Royals. Until a shoulder injury ended his career. However, throughout high school and college, he would help his Burbank High coach, Bill Kelly, as a pitching coach, and he also worked with rival pitchers at Burroughs. After being released by the Royals, Bob would go back to Burbank High School, back to that same wall, right-handed, keep throwing the ball against the wall consistently, this time to stay in shape for another shot at the bigs. It was at that time he met his future wife, Barbara, at that wall, a student at Burbank High. While raising their 4 kids, Mike, Ryan, Kara, and Chris, are they here today? Hi, guys. I didn't get to meet you earlier. I will later. He began coaching his children in Hat Minor baseball and ponytail softball for the LA Grinding Cardinals, where he has been working there since 1979, and the Calvary Cardinals. Often Bob would be coaching 3 teams at a time and loving every minute of it. Coaching became his passion, not only for the love of baseball, but for the opportunities to teach his kids the lessons he learned in his youth. That's where I entered the picture. Bob coached my son with one of the Calvary teams, my oldest son, Cameron. Bob coached kids in many leagues outside of our Parks and Rec, including local and travel ball teams from Palmdale to San Diego. Bob remembers one of his players was a starting pitcher for the Chatsworth High Chancellors, who had a 10-1 record when they played against the El Camino Real Conquistadors. I like Bulldogs and Indians better than that. For the City High School Championship game at Dodger Stadium. Very cool, very cool. Many of Bob's players went on to play college ball at Loyola, UC Davis, and other colleges. One of his players made the big leagues as well, playing for the Pittsburgh Pirates and the San Francisco Giants, Burbank's own Freddie Sanchez. After Bob's kids had grown up, he coached teams from Calvary Bible where he could share not only his love for baseball, but his love for the Lord. Although Bob is currently doing private coaching and teaching his famous palm ball, the famous palm ball, like a knuckleball. It's a changeup. He plans to return back to Hat Minor baseball with his grandson Easton and Mateo are able to play. Please welcome Bob Lizarraga to the 2016 Burbank Walk of Fame. Congratulations.
Good morning. I am here honored to induct into the Hall of Fame Tiffany Nelson. Tiffany could come join me. I forgot to ask you earlier, are your kids here with you today? Yeah. Oh, good. Okay. They're being kids. Tiffany loves softball from the first time she stepped on to the field in 5th grade. And as a youngster through adulthood, Tiffany was mentored by her coaches, most particularly Bob Harmon, Ken Bailey, and her father figure and mentor, Terry Scott, all of whom are Walk of Fame inductees, and Terry, part of the BAF. I'm not familiar, Aaron, if the other two were or not, so I apologize if I missed them. Okay. As an only child, Tiffany, her coaches, particularly Bob, Ken, and Terry, became role models, and her teammates became like sisters. Softball gave Tiffany great opportunities for success. With supportive coaches, she was, are you standing in the shade now? Oh. She was able to make lifelong friends, travel to other cities and states to play softball, and learn skills such as work ethic, dedication, teamwork, and commitment. Her favorite memories were those of her mother and her Shetland sheepdog coming to each game dressed in team gear. Many people came to know her mother, but everyone knew her dog. Being inspired by her own coaches and having such a passion for softball, Tiffany decided to take up coaching herself in 1991 at age 17, and she hasn't stopped since. Unbeknownst to her, not quite throwing a ball against the wall, but this would also be the season that she met and fell in love with her now husband, Dwayne. Are you here, Dwayne? Yeah. She and Dwayne continued coaching together for nearly 25 years, taking on teams of girls for the Ponytail Softball and ASA Softball Leagues in Burbank, and eventually she took those teams to play tournament ball. She has used her love for coaching as a way to help kids feel accomplished and gain experiences that may never have happened otherwise. She consistently took on players from low-income families with no experience or special needs. In fact, she told me a story about the first time she took a team to a tournament to play, and she was telling me it was really a story about Bob Harmon, but not really. It was really a story about Tiffany and her husband, and she didn't realize it. She was trying to tell me about Bob. But they took a team of kids who had very little experience, who didn't have a great family life, who really need someone to be their mentor. And Tiffany and her husband, Dwayne, became that mentor for that team, simply by taking them out of town to a tournament game, showed them what it was like to be competitors. And as she told me, that team and every team she's ever had since then becomes her family. And I think that's a really special feeling that you can have for your teams, and it really means a lot to the players who play for you. So I appreciated that story very much. Thank you. Even though at their first game they were losing 29-0, it's still, you learn a lot from losing as much as you do from winning, sometimes even more. So Tiffany has always taken a special love to her players, calling them, as I just explained, her kids, and making them her family. Her favorite part of coaching is watching the players develop and inspiring their lives. From small things like learning to throw and swing a bat, to bigger accomplishments like earning college scholarship, Tiffany is moved by every achievement her players ever made. She has maintained many close friendships with past players and their families. They have been in each other's weddings, now share parenting stories, and continue to play softball together. In fact, she told me that her team, the entire team, was part of her wedding ceremony in some way, shape, or form. So that's special. And that goes on because these kids were so much a part of their lives that Dwayne actually wanted to include them in his marriage proposal to Tiffany. So Dwayne had an idea that he would, and he followed through, sort of, that he rented a horse, dressed up as a knight in shining armor, and had planned to ride the horse over here to Olive Park, where the team was supposed to practice. He called Tiffany and said, "Hey, I'm gonna be late to practice." And Tiffany said, "That's not acceptable. We're trying to teach our girls responsibility, and being late is not acceptable. When you're on time, you show the people who are giving their time that you're appreciative of it. You don't just be late to something because that just shows a lack of respect." So Tiffany changed the time of practice and location because you can't be late. That's just it. So Dwayne had to change his plans because she moved the practice from Olive to Palm Park. Can't get the horse to Palm Park dressed as a knight in shining armor. So instead of doing it here at practice with their entire team, he rode the horse to their house where he proposed, and obviously because they now have 3 children, she said yes. And so they shared it with the team later on through pictures. So obviously now married, living happily ever after. She's a mother of 3. Her children are Barrett, Cannon, and Piper. And you're here? Yes? Somewhere? I saw a couple waving. Tiffany is coaching her children in the Hap Minor program. Along with the same philosophy, Tiffany coaches with caring, patience, support, and skill. And we look forward to Tiffany coaching for many, 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 many more years on our program. Thank you very much, and congratulations, Tiffany.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Barry Gusso, and it is my pleasure to induct Jose Sandoval into the Walk of Fame. What a shame that Jose hasn't touched anybody's life. You know. So, if you ask Jose, coaching saved his life. Jose began coaching as a young man in order to keep his younger brother off the streets and on the right path. With his younger brother eager to follow in his footsteps, Jose decided it was time to clean up his life. Jose's parents moved to Burbank from East Los Angeles when he was 5. As his family was striving for a better life, and certainly Burbank was the place to do that. He started playing Hap Minor baseball at 13, where he was already behind most kids at his age. He was picked up on a team that was fairly advanced, and instead of encouraging Jose, his coach belittled him and told him he was worthless to the team. So sad. Although browbeaten and discouraged, Jose did not give up. Jose's father took a team called the Sandoval Dodgers and tried to help all the boys improve through positive motivation and coaching. And any of you who have had, and I know all of you have had, children and friends in coaching programs, those are the two most important things. Much more important than skills is motivation and attitude. So, unfortunately, the insults from his previous coach rang in his ears and result in Jose lacking confidence and quitting after another season. At this difficult time in his life, Jose was lured by what he called the trouble kids, and he went down the wrong path with them. In order to try and be a better role model to his brother, Jose took a Hap minor team in 1993 for his brother and his friends. They called themselves the Sandoval Dodgers, after the team their father used to coach. As his brother and many other young players grew and matured, so did Jose. Jose was so inspired by the parents and kids, he soon realized the powerful influence he had as a coach. This powerful influence was not only enriching the lives of players, but was motivating him to change his life as well. He was learning that the skills of teamwork, discipline, and work ethic were not only enriching the lives of his players, but they were also enriching his character. Since that first season, Jose has coached hundreds of players under the Sandoval Dodgers team name. He takes kids from all walks of life and skill levels and blends them into a family. Besides raising a family and working 3 jobs, Jose consistently coaches 3 to 6 teams per season, sometimes forming a last-minute team from all the remaining kids in the box. Jose's philosophy is never turn anyone away. Everyone has something to contribute. He says coaching is his stress reliever, and he gets only joy from his teams. Jose is most proud of the effect he has on so many kids. To see the kids grow and mature, not only in baseball, but in life, is what makes him most proud. Many of his players move on to their high school baseball teams, and most return to help him coaching his younger teams. The sense of accomplishment, pride, and self-confidence that Jose has gotten from coaching has helped to offer hundreds of kids and their families a rewarding sports experience. Jose continues to be loved, respected, and admired by his current and past players. This past Hap minor season, Jose had 5 teams, 1 in each division. Surprisingly, he's the main coach for every one of those teams. Jose has 3 children and a partner that he loves dearly. His son did play baseball throughout his many youth years. His daughters really loved soccer. So when the baseball season ends, Jose becomes a soccer dad. And I'm sure many of you know what that entails. Yeah. So I am proud to present this Walk of Fame award to Jose Sandoval, not only for his volunteerism to the youth of our community, but his commitment to himself to change his life and the lives of others. Congratulations.
My sincere congratulations to all those honored and recognized here today. Thank you for attending today's ceremony, and please have a wonderful day, and we hope to see you all next year. At this time, I would like to ask all of our new and past inductees to please come up to the stage for group photos. Thank you.